What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? With members, get exclusive content. I got you to date, members. Both members. I ain't gonna talk about it. Let's just be about it. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. This situation takes us to Centinella State Prison in 1997. The homie Cowboy from 7-4 Hoover was there, and his little brother, Trouble, from 7-4 Hoover. A lot of incidents transpired with these two individuals. I'll get into some of that soon. Lil Frog from 7-4, my ace Boom Capone was there. Ace from 7-4 was there. Hoover Mike from 5 Deuce was there. So forth and so on. The homie Lil Lobo was there as well from 11 Deuce. He was my celly for a little while. Cowboy and his little brother Trouble had their mother coming to the visiting area, dropping it off. It's true. Their mother was up there visiting them nearly every weekend, and they had the sack on the yard. Well, this led to many of the incidents that they ended up getting themselves into. Again, I'll get into some of that. On one occasion here in the visiting area, a SouthSider was there with his woman. She came to visit him. The SouthSider later said on the yard before this incident, and another person or two had also said that Cowboy was very lustful there in the visiting area towards this SouthSider's girl. That apparently she was extraordinarily beautiful, and the time that Cowboy had been down had begun to get to him. Because the word was he was in the visiting area with salacious thoughts. That his lust for this Hispanic woman was emanating from him. I don't know if the lady had told her dude, this dude keeps looking at me and smiling and basically licking his lips, or if the dude caught it himself. Either way, he's now aware, according to reports, that Cowboy has a strong lust for his woman, and he's not hiding it. Now, if this is true, this is indeed very disrespectful. It's the same as if anywhere this would be disrespectful, even on the street. If you were in a grocery store with your girl, she's a beautiful woman. But whether she's beautiful or not, whoever your girl is. But of course, her beauty enhances these problems because people are going to be gawking at her, particularly if she's a beautiful woman. And you're in the grocery store and it's clear that you guys are together. You're holding hands walking down the aisle. And a dude comes by and he's very lustful. He's essentially staring at her, smiling, licking his lips while you're right there. And it's clear this is not your sister. Y'all hugging and kissing and holding hands in the aisle. And he's being blatantly disrespectful. Perhaps you're sitting inside of a club and your girl's right there next to you and y'all hugged up. And the dude comes by and just keeps coming by, smiling at her, not paying you any attention, not acknowledging you whatsoever, hasn't shook your hand. Hey, what's up, bro? He just keeps staring at her. Basically trying to get her to come over there to him while you're right there. I incurred a similar incident not too long ago. Well, actually, it was like when I first got out. A little side story here. I'm sorry, just so you understand what I'm talking about. This is totally off track here. I'm going to get back to the story. This is totally off track, but I'm going to get back to it. But my cousin Kim had threw a little birthday party. She can tell you about this. And it was some venue. It was like far out, like Fontana, something like that. Because I remember telling her, damn, cousin, why you throw it way out here? Because she lives in Pomona. I'm just telling all her business. She from A-Tray Gangster. She really about that life. She used to be. She's a grown woman now, has kids. She's calmed everything down. But I still wouldn't cross her. Here at this venue is huge. And it has some bowling spot in there as well where you can bowl. Another section you play games. It's huge. A bar in there, etc. She's over there and her party, other family members and her friends and homegirls are over there by the bowling. So me and my date walk in. My date, she's a beautiful woman. She is. And we're over there chilling with my cousin and the rest of the family and everyone that's there. And then we say, let's go bowl. Let's go get something to drink. I don't drink. She go over there. I go to the bar with her. And we get to the bar. It's a dude that walk up with his homeboy. Some old light-skinned dude with a flat top. And he keeps staring at my date. I'm wondering, man, what's going on here? And then he waved at her. As he was leaving, like, all right, bye. Right? I said, what the fuck? She didn't wave back. But boy, I said, this dude done lost his mind. This is bothering me. The whole time we over there, the dude is over there with his homeboy. So finally, I tell her, I said, I'm finna holler at this dude right now. I'm finna confront him. She like, no. He might have thought that he knew me from somewhere or something. I'm like, nah, He over there smiling at you, then he wave at you. He see I'm sitting right here with you. How disrespectful? Nah, man, this dude, he being totally disrespectful. I don't even feel right as a man. I have to confront him. Because he done went too far. What if you were my wife? Luckily, you ain't, you just my friend or whatever right now. But he don't know that. This is what I'm thinking anyway. So it's about to go up in here, bro. Believe me. Come to find out, the dude, my cousin later told me, then went to the car and got a strap. He sensed that I had been staring at him and that I was unhappy about something. This is what he later told my cousin. Come to find out, he later said that he knew her, that he had been to her house with his homeboy just a week or so prior, where she had cooked them dinner. So he didn't want to be disrespectful and not say hi to her, whatever he said, after she had just cooked him dinner the week before. I said, what? This is what my cousin Kim is telling me right there at the party. She like, cousin, he didn't went to the car. Well, she didn't tell me at the time that he went to the car and got a gun. I found that out later. But she said, cousin, my boy, I forget the dude's name now. I think you're from Compton. My boy, Whoop Whoop said that you staring at him. He all uncomfortable. He got a little nervous. He said he think that you think he was trying to holler at your girl. He said he wanted you to know he wasn't trying to holler at her, that he know her. That he went to her house a week ago. He like, man, tell your cousin I know her. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy messing with her or whatever a little bit. And I went over there to her house with him. And my cousin was like, this who he talking about, cousin. He talking about so-and-so. He was supposed to be here. Because my cousin knew the dude too. But I guess his homeboy that was there had called and said, man, she here with another dude. Or girl that who house we went over last week. So he didn't want to, come and have no problems with me and all that. So he just didn't even come to the party once he found out. But the dude is his homeboy. They was in a cell together in the penitentiary. And they've been out for some years or whatever. They still like brothers. And supposedly they done went over her house and she done cooked them dinner. She ain't telling me none of this. She told me, well, I don't know, he could be waving at me because he might know me. Or they say I got a familiar face. They say you got a familiar face. You ain't got no damn familiar face. That's what she told me. They say I got like a familiar face. She just drew this shit out of nowhere. The whole time, according to him anyway, because I later confronted her about this, and she still denies it to this day. According to him, he done been over to her house just a week before, a week and a half before, and she done cooked him and his boy dinner. And he was just, didn't want to be disrespectful, he said, and just, she done cooked me dinner a week before. I'm all up in her house. And then I see her right now, I don't say nothing to her. So he's like, I just like smiled at her like, hey, what's up? Like, I remember you. Like, you remember me? Like, just waved at her. What have you? I wasn't being disrespectful, bro. And now that I found that out, I agree. I ain't knowing none of this at the time. All I see is a dude over here smiling and waving at her. She ain't telling me all of this stuff. Shit could have went bad up in there because I was about to holler at the dude, bro. And he done went and got strapped up in all this. I was about to holler at him. So I understand, is my point. If a dude is sitting right here disrespecting you about trying to holler at your girl in any kind of way, well, you're asking for trouble. And this is the penitentiary. There are rules and protocols that must be adhered to by everyone. And again, respect is the biggest thing behind the walls. And you can show no more disrespect than to holler at someone's girl while they're sitting right there. Anyone is going to take umbrage to that as a man. And this is what the SouthSider, getting back to the story, is saying Cowboy is in the visiting area doing. Again, whether he retrieved this information from his girl or whether he saw this with his own two eyes, he goes and confronts Cowboy right there in the vision area and told him, I see what you're doing, bro. Trying to holler at my girl, licking your lips with these lustful thoughts on your mind, disregarding me as a man, and essentially trying to tell my girl to come over here by you, trying to get her number or something. What are you doing? Man, we gonna have a problem. Pay attention to your visit and stay about my girl's face. Cowboy denied that he was doing anything salacious, and if anything, said that his girl had been eyeballing him. Well, that's the wrong answer, even if it's the truth, because now you're just admitting that you have been looking. How you know she's eyeballing you unless you're eyeballing her? They got back to the yard, and the SouthSider was none too happy. In fact, he was enraged, filled with hatred and fire. He wanted Cowboy's head, and he wanted it on a plate that day. He approached a couple of blacks and explained the situation, that Cowboy had transgressed against a colossal protocol, that he had disrespected him in the visiting area and showed no regard for his manhood or for his girl and her womanhood, and that something had to be done immediately. Now, the blacks were contemplating all of this. There were a couple of blacks who stood up for Cowboy, who were also in the visiting area, and said that they had seen nothing salacious coming from him towards this woman. They had defended Cowboy. There were also a couple of others who said they, in fact, did see Cowboy going too far. We're all going over this and deciding the best thing to do about the situation. We can't just take the SouthSider's word for it and go and attack Cowboy, stab him up and get him off the yard. We don't know what happened here. There has to be an investigation. The SouthSider has to be patient and let us go. And he has to go through the proper channels, the proper protocol. Talk to the blacks. Let us decide what's going to happen. Let them know what's going to happen. Okay, we're going to remove him, etc. And then go from there. But the SouthSider, he jumped the gun. He wanted this thing done, and he wanted it done now. Clearly. Because that same day, later on that night, and you have night yard there on a level 3. You had night yard in Centinella. So it's dark outside. The SouthSider approaches Cowboy from behind. Apparently, Cowboy, he knows what's going on, that the SouthSider wants him off the yard, and has came and explained to the blacks what transpired there in the visionary earlier that day. Cowboy had spoken his piece already and denied all of the allegations. But he's not watching his back strong enough, considering what just transpired earlier that day, with that SouthSider being so enraged. Cowboy is walking around the track with the normal people he walks around the track with on any given day. No extra beefed up security. And a SouthSider stealthily approaches and tries to stab Cowboy in the back with a weapon. But he barely scratched him. One of the blacks that was with Cowboy turned around, saw what was going on, and socked the SouthSider and dropped him. The SouthSider dropped the weapon. The black picked up the weapon and began to try to stab the SouthSider with it. He started swinging it. The other SouthSider saw what was going on and ran over there, and a little melee ensued. People were saying that the SouthSider did not have permission to do this, because had he talked to the shot callers, they would have told him, hold on, let us talk to the blacks and see what's going to happen if they're going to remove him. They have to give us a chance to take care of it ourselves. That's the rules. And you can't come to the blacks that afternoon. And when did they have a chance, if they wanted to remove Cowboy? Because at the afternoon yard, then there's count time, then there's dinner, and then they open up night yard. There's nothing in between. You have no chance in between. The blacks haven't even had the chance to talk about this. All the blacks on the yard don't even know what's going on yet. It just happened earlier. And so as soon as he come out to the yard, if they were going to attack Cowboy, you didn't even give him a chance to do it. This is why people believe that he was acting on his own accord. Because everyone knows that you have to give a play a chance to develop. You have to give the blacks, just like you have to give the SouthSiders and the whites, the others, a chance to remedy the situation. Those are the rules and the protocols. He did not do that. He took the matters into his own hands and decided to attack. And the fact that no other SouthSiders had attacked with him at first also indicates to me that he was acting alone. He was pissed off. This was his wife, his girl. He loved her. He felt like this dude was being disrespectful, and then was nonchalant when he had approached him about his disrespect there in the visiting area. Clearly, he was in his cell brooding and had came to the conclusion, the decision, all on his own, that he was going to take care of this today. He was going to attack Cowboy by himself, because that's what he did. He was basically by himself. I've never seen that from a SouthSider. When they attack, they move in unison. They move together. Everyone knows what's going on. Everyone is alert. Everyone has their role to play. They're organized and structured. So for him to be walking the track by himself with a weapon and attack a black that has other blacks with him, it didn't turn out well for him. It was ill-advised, because he barely scratched him, and then he got attacked, got dropped the weapon. They picked up the weapon and started trying to poke him with the weapon. Did poke him a little bit with the weapon. And then the SouthSiders seen what was going on and ran over there to help him, probably not knowing what had just happened, if he just got rushed or what, not knowing that he just tried to stab a black. They probably knew what had just transpired in the vision area yet, but I don't believe that they knew he was about to attack. That word had not been sent down and confirmed and authorized by anyone. He was acting alone. I believe that to this day. He was pissed. So this dude gonna try to get at my girl, whatever. Y'all ain't removed him yet, even though it just been an hour or two. I'm finna get him then. He ain't get the blacks a chance to even make the decision whether or not they were going to remove him. Probably not, because some blacks were saying that did not happen like that. Sometimes some dudes can be protective and overprotective of their girl as well, and think that everyone is looking at her and everyone wants her, especially if she's beautiful. And that may not be the case. It probably is the case with some people who, again, are disrespectful, but it's not always the case. I know with me, I'm very careful of this. When I see a woman, a beautiful woman, if she is with a man, I do not look. I do not gawk. I do not stare. I see her, I may say to myself, damn, she's straight. She bad, or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm a man. But I'm going to look, I see her, and I see she with a dude holding hands or hugged up or anything. I can see this is not her brother. Whatever their display is, I know that she is involved with him in a romantic way. I immediately turn my head. I immediately turn my gaze. I immediately walk the other way, deliberately, so as not to disrespect any man that is walking with his woman. It's not worth it. These dudes are serious and they love their girl, they love their family, they love their wife. And they're going to take umbrage to you staring at their girl. And you can see that this is his girl. I'm going to take umbrage if I'm walking down the street with my girl and you just stop and stare at her, and I'm staring at her booty and all that. You asking for trouble. So I'm very careful. When I see that she's with anyone, I turn my head and I walk the hell away. I wouldn't dare it's not worth it, disrespect any man for his woman. This is his girl. Go find your own. So I can understand. I don't know what happened. I wasn't in the visiting area. Some people said that he was being lustful and salacious. SouthSider certainly believed that. And a couple of others said that the SouthSider was exaggerating and overprotective. Again, some are overprotective. They think everybody wants their girl, everybody's staring at their girl. That's not always the case. Sometimes you just happen to look up and she just happened to be right there. You wasn't even looking at her. You didn't see her coming. You're not looking at her. You're not staring at her. You're not walking around facing the damn ground. You're looking up and here she come. You see her, oh damn, and keep walking. But even you just caught her eye for a second. Some dudes, they're ready to spaz out. That love is real. So you have to be careful. That's why I automatically turn my gaze and get the hell out of Dodge. I don't want no problems with a dude over his girl. That's when dudes are at their most violent. That's when they are most dangerous. It's when they feel a threat to their woman. It's true. So I'm careful not to pose a threat or act like I'm posing a threat to any man over his girl. Take heed. And I'm not so sure that that's what Cowboy did, that he was extra careful there in the visiting area. I don't know. And as a result, the SouthSider certainly did not think that he was, because he took it into his own hands. Maybe he had permission. I don't think so, because it did not seem like an organized attack. It seemed like the SouthSider didn't even know what the hell was going on. They happened to look over, they saw a scuffle. They looked over, and they saw it was a SouthSider, and they just, they converged over, they ran over there like they're supposed to do. It wasn't strategic, it wasn't planned. They wasn't watching and waiting for him to attack, and then they all started attacking and all that. It wasn't one of those things. I didn't seen those. I didn't been in those. Riots happen all the time, like I've been saying for decades. I didn't seen those situations where it's planned out and they attack strategically. It wasn't that. So it seemed like he was acting on his own accord. I could be wrong. That's what it seemed like. I'll be back. In the meantime, stay free, people.